Habang gigil sila sa brut-brut pow, eto chill lang nakapisan. Habang gigil sila sa brut-brut pow, eto chill lang nakapisan.
What up, loved ones? What it do? Spotty Young right here. You know where I'm from. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're into real shit only, watch this video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got the big body Edmund right here from LA, dropping
What
by
up?
and shit, showing love and shit, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And to those who don't know you, Patty, let us know about yourself. Like where'd you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
from?
for sure, man. Oh, first of all, man, thank you for having me on the show. It's an honor, man. I've been watching your show. You've been it's really inspiring, the stories that you're putting on, everything, dog. And like I had to reach out, man, and share a little bit about myself as well.
It's an honor,
Um,
Patty. Appreciate you, man.
sure, man. Thank you. Well, my name is Edmund Arevalo. I'm a Filipino American artist. I was born in the Philippines. I came here when I was like 2 years old. My life kind of was, you know, I wasn't ever affiliated to any gangs or anything like that, but I did have a lot of family members that were STS, and I had family members in San Diego that were in B&B and stuff like that. So I was always around that growing up, and it's crazy because my life, I was always moving around growing up. A lot of it was in the Philippines and as well as here. So like by the time I was two, I came to the United States, and then I went to school here until probably fifth or sixth grade, and then we moved back to the Philippines. The reason being was my grandparents, they were getting old, so my mom decided to move everyone back there and take care of my grandmother and my grandfather. So from like sixth grade to eighth grade, I was in the Philippines, and then again I moved back here, United States. I went to high school, but during this whole transition, I feel like um, I was very introverted. The fact that I was always constantly around new people and trying to adjust and just not having that solid foundation. And so growing up, it was kind of hard for me to make friends, or like I was always in my notebooks writing, tagging, doing all kinds of drawing stuff. That's kind of like how I always reached out and had friends. Was people would look at my notebooks like, "Oh, you can really draw. That's dope." And so that always stuck with me growing up, but I never really thought of it being anything in the future. I always wanted to play basketball. That was like my thing. I wanted to play basketball. I tried out in the Philippines and stuff like that. But it all started though when it's crazy because when I was growing up, I always wanted to fit in somewhere, and I always wanted like I would always see my uncles. They were doing their thing, fucking all kinds of crazy shit, and I would always try to fit in with them and try to hang out with them. But they're like, nah, nah, we don't want you to be. So they'd always keep me at bay. But at the same time, by doing that, it kind of made me want to do that more and like try to be like them, cool and shit, doing all kinds of shit. And so, um, growing up, I got into a lot of trouble. Well, not really serious trouble, but things that kind of made my life turbulent.
Yeah.
So after high school, I went back to the Philippines to go to school because I was trying out. And the reason being, this is the reason why I went back to the Philippines after high school was um, at the time I was working at Mervin's when they had this store called Mervin's, and I was like stealing shit, stealing fucking FUBU and all kinds of like old school.
Oh, come to think about it, me too and shit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
I would fucking take it, and then I had my sister. I call my sister, yo, come down and no, I'll just put it in your bag because I'm working the cat register. And so after a while, they caught on. And they're like, Edmund. They called me into the office, and then I got arrested. I went to jail, and then I was in there. I was like, yo, what the hell, dude? This isn't for me. Like I was in like not a really serious jail or anything. I was in county jail, but like just being in there and seeing how the life isn't just like
How's
that's like the basic part. That's not even like nothing crazy, you know. And I was like, yo, I can't do this. So I ended up getting out. Um, and then my parents were like, no, you just go to the Philippines and try to do what you want to do, you know, do something out there. So I was like, I really wanted to play basketball. So I was thinking, oh, I can try out there. So I go to the Philippines. This was probably like in 2000, 2004, 2003, 2004, around there. So I go to the Philippines. I try out in University of Baguio. I got accepted on the team, and I'm, yeah, yeah.
wow.
But being there, you know, I was alone. I didn't have anybody there. My dad was living in Ilocos, in on the other side, like probably like 6 hours away from Baguio. So I was alone there, and then I was walking down. I forgot the name of the street, uh, like the main area in Baguio, and then I had my money in my backpack, like all my money in my backpack. And then when I got home, my backpack was open, money gone. They pickpocketed me. I was so sad and like,
Oh.
oh, what's going on? You know, like I'm just trying to play ball out here. And I was just like, I want to go back home. So they ended up sending me back to America as I come back again. This time, uh, I go to a junior college in Cypress College, and I'm trying basketball again, same thing. And then I end up touring my ACL, um, and it was bad. Like I was depressed because like now I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do in my life? That's all I know, basketball. I never, you know, I don't know anything else. And that's kind of like when I started to get into like drugs. Started, you know, hanging out with the wrong people, partying.
Oh. What's your
Um,
favorite choice?
partying. I would do ecstasy sometime,
Yes,
stuff
sir.
like that. So go to raves and shit. That was kind of like the thing.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
during that time,
be-
uh,
because all because you tore your knee or
yeah, I tore my ACL and I was
or
just
your
kind of like
ACL?
wilding out already. Like I didn't really care about
Oh,
anything.
okay,
I
okay.
just worked a regular job. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then during that time, funny story, dude. I've never told anyone this. um, During that time, I was hanging out in Long Beach, at a barbershop, a friend's barbershop of mine, and you know how barbershops are. They always have all this talk and all this stuff. And so, one of the barbers was like, "Yo, you want to come with us? We're gonna this dude that sells us weed. We're gonna jack him. We're gonna go to his house. You know, run up in his house, take his shit, and then you know, make some money." So I'm like, "Shh, I'll go. Let's go." And I'm the dumb one. I'm like, all right, I'll drive. I'll take my car. I take my car. We go, right? Shit. And this is the time when I was like, you know, this is the time when I'm like, this is that gangster shit. I'm trying to get into that gangster shit, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
realized this gangster shit wasn't for me. so, so we go, right? We go to the guy's house. We're staking it out. We're waiting for him to get home. And then we see him coming. He's walking. He's like, yo, that's him. That's him. So he's getting ready to walk in his house, right? And then we're all putting all our bandanas, everything, getting ready to hop out the car. And right when he was about to open the door in his house, we get out, right? And then we run up on him, and he sees us, and he opens the door, and the dude that was with us points the gun. He points the gun at him, and he slams the door on. And then he was looking at me like, "Bro, why didn't you kick the door down?" I'm like, "Y'all don't have nothing. I don't no gun or nothing, man. I'm not gonna do that." And I realized like, yo, this shit ain't for me, man. So after that, I was like, man, I ain't doing this shit no more. So that's kind of like how everything went down. It's more of like a hilarious story of like just trying to do shit and watching movies and thinking I'm like a gangster and shit. Oh my gosh, that shit was hilarious. But during that time, I did started to get into rapping. I started doing music. Shout out to my boy Tony and Young Herb. We used to do rap shit in Glendale and Eagle Rock. This was probably like in 2008. We started a group called Rocktown Lifted. We started rapping and doing all that shit. And then during this time was when we would do like weed runs and picking up weed and shit. And I was kind of like making my money through that. Um, I wasn't really doing much of the work. I was just going and like middlemaning things and everything. And we would go to like Fresno and back and San Francisco and stuff like that. But there's this one time when I was kind of like, I don't want to do this shit no more, right? My homie, young Herb, he was like, yo, come, let's go to Fresno real quick and hang out. I was like, all right, fuck it, let's just go. And you know me, I just want to party and like just get drunk and get wasted and shit. So we go, and then he's driving fast on the freeway, bro. Like, and it's a rental car. And we see a highway patrol just flying, coming, chasing us, right? And we pull over to some random corner and like just hide for a bit, and then the police passes us. So I'm like, damn, bro, we can't be doing this shit. So, long story short, on our way back, I find out that car was a fucking. He bought it from someone that stole. It's a stolen rental, bro. And
Oh,
so we were driving around in the stolen rental. We had all this weed on us, and like, back then it's like, yo, you get caught with this shit, you gonna be doing time, bro.
oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Just constantly putting myself in dumbass situations. That's what I was always doing.
yeah.
It was crazy, man. And like around 2012, I was kind of already like, dude, this, what am I gonna do with my life? I'm just doing this every day, hanging out, fucking partying, getting drunk, getting high. And I fell into like a really deep depression. I had like substance abuse. I was at one point I was homeless for like
Man,
a year, man. Just couch surfing, living on people's couches and fucking
yeah.
trying to get through. So that happened around 2012. And at that point, I was kind of like, dude, I don't know what to do with my life. I was already kind of like depressed and didn't know what to do. So I met, well, my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now. I met her and we were hanging out, and I met her through your church. And, we were talking, blah blah blah, and that was kind of like, all right, now it's time for me to figure out what I need to do. And I felt like God was kind of drawing me back and like, yo, like, get yourself together. And so I went back to the Philippines for a bit, and I was helping my mom.
In Baguio, right?
No, they live in Ilocos and in
No.
Abra, yeah.
Okay.
I went back, and this is kind of like how I started to find out like art was what I'm supposed to be doing. So I go back there. I'm helping my mom. But she was telling me, "Yo, just go back and we need to paint a mural on in the church." And so I was like, "All right, I'll do it." So I just go back there, and this time I'm still like smoking weed, getting drunk and shit. And then I was high painting inside the church. It was just crazy shit. And then you know, after I was like almost done finishing the painting, it was kind of like like God was telling me like, yo, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And it kind of just clicked, bro. And when I came back from the Philippines, I just like dropped everything and I went back to school. I went to
Oh,
LACC, and then I met one of my mentors, Alex, and she was kind of like, dude, you got a talent in this. And I always thought I could draw. Like I
yeah,
always
yeah,
thought I could do some, but I never thought like you can't make money off this. Like, bro,
yeah,
art's not gonna get me nowhere. So I never really took it serious. And then she was like, "Oh, you need to do this shit. This is something that you should take serious." And so I got my associate's degree. Um, I graduated. Then I transferred to Dominguez Hills.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Uh-huh.
when did you start practicing drawing and when did you start liking it? Like at what age?
I was probably like 9 or 10 when I really
Oh,
when I was like drawing in my notepad.
did you start drawing what do you call this? Like Super Saiyan Goku first or
Yeah, I was doing
Dragon
that.
Ball
I was doing
Z?
like
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z. I was doing
remember that one.
bunch of crazy stuff like uh you know, like those cholo with the big pants and then
All
the
the homies, the
yeah, I was drawing and then
oh
tagging, making my own kind of tag like
yeah,
graffiti
oh for
and yeah, and then I did a lot of like old English. That's kind of like where I do my old English now in my paintings. It came a lot of that came from that.
sure, for sure.
Um, yeah, man, and
So
what helped me,
Alex,
what helped me too, like to overcome like this was boxing. It's crazy because like I never thought like I would get into any athletic after what happened with my knee. I never thought I would get back into sports again. So I just decided to try something new. So I got into boxing, and it kind of helped me too as well. Like, you know, the mindset, like strengthening your mind and like not allowing things to overcome you. So I got into boxing, and then that's how everything worked out. And it's crazy because like I never thought like I'd be doing art to this point.
wow,
And then well, I got accepted to USC, so I'm gonna be going there this year. Uh, and then also uh, this month, the Asian American Pacific Islander Cultural Center, the Department for Los Angeles.
yeah,
I was in the magazine and all that. They put me in that, which is pretty dope. I had no idea I'd be. I got my painting in the mayor's office, Karen Bass.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, crazy shit, man. Like I never thought I'd be doing this.
I mean, as a Filipino, parang,
Mhm.
basketball, that's a given right there. Like, do we know any Filipinos that don't play basketball, right? And
Yeah,
and also boxing, like all of
yeah,
us, we all like fighting and shit, right? But
mhm,
drawing, painting murals and art, that's
yeah.
that's something else right there. That's
Yeah, and it's crazy because when I started getting into art, I would go to museums and galleries. And I'm like, bro, why is there no Filipinos? There's no Filipino artists. They don't represent us in the art, in the art, art, how everything in
art,
art
yeah.
world. You don't see that many Filipinos. So I was like, man, why can I
Do
do this shit? Like,
you tattoo also, or
I tried to get in it, but nah, I didn't. I didn't really do that much tattoo. No.
more on painting
More,
murals?
yeah,
Your
painting,
expert.
more painting. A lot of my work is mixed media, so I do a lot of like illustration, and I do like I right now I'm currently doing things with bamboo. So like I'm building bamboo frames with my paintings. I use a lot of paper transfer, like magazines, old newspapers, and stuff like that, and I transfer it on the canvas and paint over it. That's kind of like the process of how I work with my art. But yeah, man, that's just crazy, dude. I
Man.
figured why not try it? It's always there's always this stigma around Filipinos, like we have to be nurses or we have to be a mailman or get a decent job. Like I was
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel you. Yeah.
yeah.
Man, so wow, that you went that way. But this is you went and discovered this after you finish your associates or your bachelor's first
Yeah, yeah.
simultaneously.
So as in art or
I mean, in the art world, like
uh,
pursuing this career.
yeah. So after I got my associate's degree, that's kind of like when I started taking it serious. Like, bro, like
Oh,
there's no Filipinos in this, and been researching it. Like, it's rare that you see any Filipinos in blue chip galleries in big museums like LACMA or why
ah,
not? Why not? Try. Why can't we have our like? I want my children to come to the museum and be like, see who they look like, Filipinos, like other Filipinos.
oh,
Yeah, it's not
damn.
just European white people or
Yeah.
that we need that in galleries too. So like I decided to like really take this art thing seriously and move with that.
Man,
Yeah.
so after right now as we speak,
hmm
that's what that's you're focusing like most of your whole career on the art right now.
That's mainly what I'm doing now
Yeah.
is just art, painting. I am trying to, as soon as I finish this graduate program in USC, I'll definitely look into teaching. that's like another thing that I want to do, teaching art, representing Filipinos, man, in the art
Yeah.
world, like important. I was doing curating art shows. I actually did like curated 3 art shows. So the title of the art is called Tambayan. It was funny because me and my
Oh,
cousin were we were sitting in my garage one time. We're like, man, we need to do an art show. We were just
yeah.
like, Tambayan, let's do Tambayan. And it's just hang out, you know? So we
Yeah.
did that. Yeah.
I
And then,
see it right there in your background, Tambayan. That's
yeah.
the logo right there.
Yeah, yeah. So we curated that show. We got a bunch of Filipino American artists out here in LA. It was pretty big, man. We got on LA Times. We were on a bunch of newspapers. You got a lot of exposure.
Yes, sir. So I'm just glad that, in your younger years,
Uh-huh.
you have family members, or if you're people that close to you,
Hmm.
BNG, STS, but
Hmm.
instead of going down that nonsense route, right?
Hmm.
You were smart enough to actually evade that nonsense and did your own thing.
Yeah,
But it still wasn't easy because you know what I mean? You still got into the drug scene,
right.
the party scene, drinking like the rest of us normal people. We get into that. But
Yeah.
somehow you were able to find your purpose.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
And
it was all God, man. It's God, like how it works out. It's crazy because, like I said, I went to my mom's church. And I wasn't going to church or anything like that, and then just like to hear it in my head, like this is what you're supposed to be doing, kind of just tripped me out, bro. Like, damn,
hey.
no. So I started taking it serious, dude. And it just all the crazy thing too is you'll realize like when it's made for you, everything will just kind of like fall in place, and that's kind of like how the whole thing worked. And I started art late in like my 30s, and so it was crazy because like one thing after the other, and it was just going, dude. And yeah, it's just crazy.
Man, so are you also on you have any a program going on where you're teaching other young men that would like to pursue in the art career so that you can help them out reach their full potential, stuff like that?
Um, Currently, I don't. I was doing like lectures at Eagle Rock High for a
Yes.
while, but yeah, I haven't done that in a while. But I do want to get into programs like that and like helping other people at risk youth too, like helping them and like because even in the Philippines, man, there's a lot of talented people that paint, draw. Like I've met a lot of kids that know how to do like, and they have no like education in that or no like experience, but yet they can draw like figurative drawing really good. They
Yeah.
just need that someone to help them propel them to get to that next step or give them advice, inspire them.
That's
Yeah.
that's perfect in prison too, because even in me from when I was in prison, I saw a lot of other folks doing their best, trying to draw a lot of things, a lot of good talents in there with drawings and shit. And some of them will never have the chance to get out. So
Uh,
I mean, so they just stuck in there, but wasted talents. And you're over there showing
yeah.
everyone that the talent or that God gave you, you're
Mhm.
making the best out of it
Right.
instead of just wasting your life. Yeah.
And speaking on that, we did have a show in Los Angeles City College that we curated. So what they did was they had artists that were in prison. They gave them like all types of material and like art stuff to paint, and they had them paint all that stuff. And they gave them like I think it was like 2 or 3 months to do some type of artwork, and then they would send it back, and we had it hanging up in the college in the LACC's gallery. We had like a show on that. It was pretty dope, man. When you see the artwork that they did, crazy, bro. With the pen too, like their pen drawings, how detailed and how this is crazy. Like seeing all that.
By the way, but when you went to LACC and then you transferred to USC, right?
Oh, I transferred to Dominguez Hills,
I mean, and
Cal State Dominguez Hills. Yeah.
were you able to meet other artists such as yourself that helped you, sharpen up skills, your talent on that?
Yeah, actually a lot. There was a lot of there. It's crazy because there's a couple Filipino artists in Dominguez Hills as well. But what really helped me was one of my mentors too. His name's Devin Suno. Uh, Dope dude, Japanese dude. He really like helped me, like taught me how to do a lot of things and like not even just in art, like in the business as well, and how to move in the business and how to make networks. I mean, make connections and network and stuff like that too. So he was a really big help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you have any, what do you call this, website or where people can find you if they want to inquire about
Yeah, I have.
your work?
So currently, my website, I took it down because I need to fix it, but I do have an Instagram. It's my
So,
first name, Edmund, last name Arevalo, Instagram.com/ Edmund Arevalo.
yes, sir. So anybody out there that that think that you have a talent on art that you wanna make it to the next level, elevate your game on the art game, you gotta get at the party right here, shit, man. We, we all start from the bottom because
Yeah,
nobody was born a Michelangelo or what I mean right away, like a kung fu master, a master, a master right away. Everybody starts off as a student first, right? So
exactly.
to anybody that want to grow and get at the
Yeah.
party, man. Edmund Arevalo, shit, on Instagram. Yeah, yeah, yes,
Thank
sir.
you so
So,
much.
yeah, but what do you call this? What during your younger years, what was that you can remember one of the craziest thing that almost led you to the dark side?
I think um, it was that time when I moved to Eagle Rock, was hanging out with my Filipino buddies, man, and like
The good influence.
yeah, man, it was crazy, man. Like driving it around, fucking stolen rentals and fucking just pounds of weed on us, and just trying to, hang out. Mainly, just trying to do like rap. And then back then, in like 2008 and 2007, it wasn't really like they didn't really have any many Filipino rappers or like exposure for Filipino artists wasn't really there. So like we was kind of just doing what we can as rapping at karaoke bars or rapping at fucking festivals and shit like that. So we were doing that. Actually, matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a couple of our tracks that we did, man, so you can listen to them, dude. Um, but during that time, I think was a time when you know I was trying to do stuff, trying to be cool, trying to be a gangster and all this stuff. The
Oh,
way I dressed and all that stuff. I think that's around there. 2007, 2008 was like the time when I was, you know,
I feel it. I feel
wanting to go into that direction, but yet I don't know. I don't think I'm tough enough for that. Let me go.
it. So
So yeah, yeah,
right now, you're in your late 30s or
yeah. So I'm 43.
oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have like a quick message on your younger late teens,
Hmm.
what would you like? What would you like to say to yourself, Ali?
And I would just say, for me, I think it would be more of just like believing in yourself. Like I really didn't. I was always the type of person that always needed to be accepted. I always needed to have like confirmation from someone, like, yeah, you can do it. Or, yeah, come on, come with us. And like, I feel like if I would have just listened to myself and like just stayed focused, um, it would have been better. I would have been better off. Like not necessarily better off as in like where I am now or however, but just like the route I would take would probably be less, troublesome, stuff like that. Um, and I believe a lot too is about like just finding your center, like, you know, following God. I think that's important too. Your relationship with God. I think that's what really helps. Like that's what really gets your mindset on the right thing, having your heart set on the right thing, not just trying to pursue something because that's what you want to do, or like, oh,
Yeah.
that was me too back then because I was so hell bent to be a basketball player. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it, do. But like that wasn't the route that was for me. Like and
Hey.
uh, just staying flexible, I guess, is important to
Yes,
realize.
sir. Yes. And so I can totally relate where you're coming from about, your testimony,
Mm,
God's miracles, God's hand. You can see it moving in your life. I
mm,
felt that also in my life. We're on that level. We have a relationship with God, me to be exact, with Jesus Christ, right? They don't like to say that online, but I say it
yeah,
anyways. So
yeah,
right now, that's a bunch of little kids lost, godless in the world that we're living in. Some people they go as far as hating God, right? And
mm,
some people just like, they think they're so smart going to college now, they're taking God out the picture. They're becoming atheists,
right.
or to believe in UFOs and aliens and other conspiracies. What would what would you say to those that are being lost and being taken away from the gospel? Like, I don't mean to get deep into the, God thing, but it's like a message from somebody that's so lost that they refuse the existence of God, and they also basically they're godless folks living life as godless. Like, what do you have to say about them?
Ooh, that's a very deep.
Yeah, because just real quick, buddy, because sometimes us, I've been doing podcasts recently. I just been coming back to YouTube, stuff like that, and we can't take out God out of the subject. Me and the Pares that've been there, done that. We talk about the miracles of God, but nowadays this Gen Z generations, or the even some old folks, even millennials,
Right.
some kids, they don't even like, or they don't even believe, or they don't even respect God anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so basically, what do you think about that one? That scenario that's going on?
yeah. Like it's so hard to minister to these children, these kids, because like they just don't want to hear it. I
Yeah.
feel like the only thing you can do is just pray for them, and then like hope that God reveals Himself to them, and like they finally realize, like God's reaching out to them. I think that's the only thing I can do. But because me, like, I'm not the type of person that likes to confront people and be like, "Yo, you need to go to church, blah blah blah. This is how it's supposed to be." Like, I can't do that because, like, I remember when they used to do that to me, and that would kind of like, "Man, you crazy, man, back away from me. Like, I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah,
And I feel like it's the same way. Like, so
yeah,
honestly, like, it's all. I believe it's just prayer, praying for even those that are against us or against you. Like, I think that's most important.
personal
Yeah,
relationship, right?
yeah,
Sure. And shout out to the homie Johnny Chang, man, the Chinese homie Johnny Chang doing his thing, man.
yeah. That's what's up.
Pre
Yeah,
preaching preaching the gospel with all these tattoos, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and all these sinful criminal ways from the past, and still preaching anyways. Shout out to the homie, he's doing real good, man. Yes, sir. But anyways, buddy, man, we appreciate you coming through, dropping by, showing love, representing. I mean? We got the party movement going on, and we want all the parties to be doing good, to be doing straight, in their strongest, in their best version. That's what we're doing here in the channel. Share unity for all not just the parties, of course, for the Asian Islander unity and peace. And basically, it's like a, good versus evil type shit. But this is what the channel is about. Thank you for dropping by. Before we shake the spot, buddy, do you have any last message to anybody?
Yeah, man. Come check out my art when I have some shows. But yeah, man, I'm planning to come out there, man. I want to come visit you out there, man, and I want to get on your show live with you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, man?
yes, sir, yes, sir. But when do you think that will be? Are you anytime
Uh,
soon?
well, I'm planning possibly because my pops is supposed to go in October. And he's kind of older, so he was wanting me to take him back. Hopefully, then, God willing, if that's the plan, you know.
All right, for sure. Hopefully, man, October. That's just around the corner.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
man.
in I've been in the box or in the hole way longer than than my younger years. But yes, maraming maraming salamat, pare. And then what do you call this? Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll see you soon. And more power to the art world. You know, hopefully you can grab more other pares that want to pursue that career also,
Yep, yep.
right?
Yeah, thank you, dude. Thank
Yeah,
you. I appreciate
yeah.
you, man. Thank you for
Thank you.
an
Yeah.
honor to be on here, man, to talk about this and to really it's actually like therapy in a sense as well because it's helping me heal in a sense because I'm talking about things that to get out like the things I've never told anyone else.
Because you will be judged, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So,
It is an honor and it's a pleasure as well, man. It's inspiring, you know. And we can look at it at any angle. This is a righteous movement. Maraming salamat again for dropping by. And with that being said, you'll know what time it is. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Because real recognize real, homeboy. Out of here. Yeah.